Today, you are going to learn to tie Roza's dark neon, a fantastic tag fly you're going to want to add to your box. To begin, tie in some UTC 70 thread in black. Fold a piece of pink Brite into 3 strands and tie it in at the tail. This will become the neon tag that makes this pattern so distinctive. Now, tie in a strand of UTC Ultra wire. Here, I'm using copper brown. I prefer the brassy size as it provides just the right amount of segmentation and weight. Once secured, wrap your thread forward, keeping it flat and smooth all the way back to the bead. Trim the excess Brite just behind the bead for a clean finish. Wrap the thread back toward the tail to lock everything into place. To secure the tail further, make one wrap behind and under the Brite material. Finally, stop the thread at the base of the tail. Here, I'm using Fulling Mills Nymph flash dubbing in UV black. Carefully form a thin dubbing noodle on the thread, taking time to ensure it is even and consistent. It's important not to overdo the dubbing here. Remember, when it comes to dubbing, less is more. A thin noodle creates a sleek, effective body without adding unnecessary bulk. Make wraps with the dubbing noodle using smooth touching turns to create the body of the fly. This step gives the pattern a clean, streamlined profile. Using a sharp pair of scissors, trim the Brite to form a neat, eye-catching neon tag. This detail not only adds visual appeal, but also gives the fly its signature look. Counter-wrap the copper wire to create the ribbing of the fly. This step adds a segmented look that mimics natural insects, while also reinforcing the dubbed body for added durability. The wire not only strengthens the fly, but it also gives it some subtle flash, enhancing its overall effectiveness on the water. Next, we are going to add a CDC collar to this fly. Add a dubbing loop to your thread. While many tyers prefer to use a CDC clip for this step, I'm going to keep it simple. Watch how I splay the fibers of the CDC feather and secure it directly into the dubbing loop. Using my long scissors, I make one clean cut to free the CDC fibers from the stem. I'm using my Stonfo dubbing twister to spin the fibers to form a compact CDC collar. Stroke the CDC fibers backward. Then, carefully wrap them toward the head of the fly. These wraps create a subtle CDC collar, which not only enhances this fly's profile, but it also gives it that critical movement to attract fish. The original pattern calls for a darker color of CDC, but I have found the natural color to work just fine. For the final step of this pattern, fill the space between the CDC collar and the bead with some flashy peacock dubbing. Create a sparse dubbing noodle. Keep it light to avoid adding any unnecessary bulk. The peacock dubbing contrasts beautifully with the light CDC collar and the dark body, giving the fly a balanced yet eye-catching appearance. Equipped with its neon tag, this fly is especially effective in water with higher turbidity. In those situations, it's a highly visible pattern that I trust to stand out and draw the attention of trout. To finish the fly, I secure the head by adding a small amount of UV resin to the thread before whip finishing. You can also use super glue for this step. Cure the resin with a UV light and then use your fingers to even out the CDC fibers. You have just tied Roza's dark neon. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to check out the companion article on troutstrike.com for more tips and details on this pattern. And don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the Trout Strike channel. It's now time to step away from your vise and get out on the water. Tight lines, everyone.